Very good evening. Jai Shri Krishna Guru. Thank you for joining the Bhagavad Gita Satsang, the way of life as described by Lord Shri Krishna to Arjuna. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswataya Namaha, Om Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. We'll be continuing from chapter 4, that is the yoga of knowledge as well as the disciplines of action and knowledge. And we will be learning about the glory of God with attributes, Karma Yoga or selfless action as described by Lord Shri Krishna. So in the last satsang, we had done till verse 10. Now we will be beginning from verse 11 onwards. Chapter 4, verse 11. Arjuna, howsoever men seek me, even so do I respond to them. For all men follow my path in every way. Wow, that's very powerful. Let me read once more. Arjuna, howsoever men seek me, even so do I respond to them. For men follow my path in every way. So in the earlier satsang, we learnt from the Divine Lord, why does he manifest? Why is it important to do our duties? And that is exactly what he was explaining, and how one can achieve the yoga of action, that is union with the divine, by performing their duties selflessly, not getting attached to the fruits of their action. We are not bothered about the end result, whether we are going to win, we are going to fail. That's not what our focus is. Our focus is only to serve that which we have been given, serve the purpose of our existence, and also, do whatever comes to us naturally. And many a time, you might think that, oh, this is what I want to do in my life. I have a goal, I have an ambition. All that is, each one of us have our own ideas. I want to become an engineer, doctor, lot of things that we dream about. We have an aspiration in our life, but not necessarily that is what we are meant to be doing. So what comes to you effortlessly is also something that you need to observe and understand. That which comes to you effortlessly is what you have to continue to do. Don't go and try to do something which is not meant for you. And I think he has very beautifully explained this in this chapter, earlier in this chapter, which I have also given a detailed understanding about. We have to only do that which comes to us naturally and effortlessly. So focus on doing your duties with performing a selfless action through which you will be able to attain the Divine Lord. And so in the previous satsang, Lord has given us why it is important that we should not have any fear, attachment or anger. And most importantly, we have to completely be absorbed in the Divine Lord, depend on him, and most important, through the, he says, and purified by the penance of wisdom. Wisdom comes from knowledge, and knowledge, the fructification of knowledge happens through action. When you apply that knowledge, whatever you have learned, and when you practically apply that knowledge, that is when the fructification of the knowledge happens, and then you become wise. And wise means then what happens is you attain the divine being, that is Lord Shri Krishna. And then he says, many have become one with me even in the past. And he said this is one of the ways how, there are a lot of wise people, my devotees, disciples, who have been able to attain me even in the past. So what does that tell? That the Lord has been manifesting time and again and imparting the same knowledge again and again, so that whenever there is rise in the adharma, he comes to establish dharma and put people back on the path. So let us continue. So what is he saying to Arjuna here? Howsoever men seek me, even so do I respond to them. That means, very simple example. Before the Mahabharat war, both Arjuna and Duryodhana had approached the Divine Lord. So they want to also ask for the Lord to be on their side to fight the battle. At the time, Lord Shri Krishna said very clearly to both of them that I am not going to be fighting the war. And he gave both of them a choice. you choose between who do you want, my army or me. And when both Duryodhana and Arjuna had approached the Lord, at that time the Lord was sleeping. So Duryodhana was sitting, waiting at the Lord's feet, and Arjuna was sitting beside his head. Now, when the Lord opened his eyes, he first saw Duryodhana. So Duryodhana said, look, I have come here first. You saw me first. So you need to give me the opportunity first to decide. So the Lord says, okay, fine. You decide. Do you want me or my army? Because I am not going to be fighting the war. He was very clear. So Duryodhana chooses the Lord's army, whereas Arjuna chooses the divine Lord himself. So what does that tell you? So he's saying here, howsoever men seek me, even so do I respond to them. It is what you give is what you get. It is what you ask is what you get back. An example again. The reason I gave this example is that because, it is your love which will give you back that love in 1,000 more times. So when you offer anything, the same offering, the Lord gives it back to you 1,000 more times in, it's just an expression. That means that many times is what you get back. So what do you want to offer to him? Do you want to offer your love or anger or hatred? What is it you're offering to him? Please be very careful. Or your upset mind or your disturbed state of being. What is it you want to offer to him? So always offer that goodness, that love, that compassion, that kindness, all the good qualities, the divine propensities. When you offer all the divine qualities, that is exactly what will grow back in you 1,000 times, because that is what the Lord will bless you back with. So he's saying, howsoever men seek me, even so do I respond to them. This is a very profound truth that which nobody understands. So be very careful. My Krishna Guruji will always remind all of his disciples and devotees, please be careful as to what you reflect, because it's what you are going to get back. When you reflect anger, you're going to get back anger 1,000 more times. So why do you want to, give Lord that bitterness of yours? Because that's what is going to be filling your heart with. So why not give love and get your heart filled with so much more love? That is what we all have to aspire and seek. Through this knowledge, we have to overcome our fears, attachments, anger, all that. In the previous verse, that's exactly what the Lord explained. So let us make a good amount of effort. We have to strive really hard to overcome all of these shadripus which is there within us, the tendencies, that inherent nature, all that we have to overcome. Otherwise, we can't touch the S of spirituality also. We can't become spiritual. To become divine is not so easy. See, please remember, the divine and the demonic, both the qualities rest within us alone. But the choice to being divine or demonic rests with you alone. It is not the Lord who makes the choice for you. He is only teaching Arjuna all the good things in this world. He is telling, this is my way. That's why Bhagavad Gita is known as the way of life. Because Lord Shri Krishna teaches all of us how do we live, conduct ourselves, do our work, walk, sit, talk, eat. Everything is taught to us through Bhagavad Gita. And when we follow this, then we will be living a God-pleasing life, not a man-pleasing life. We have to always live a God-pleasing life. And that is why it is important. Today, my Krishna Guruji he has actually started conducting the classes on the way of life. In fact, he will be announcing this sessions very soon. So everyone can join. They need to understand what it means to live the way of life as, defined in our scriptures. Today, if you take what is happening in the world, whether it is health issues, mental health, it's the biggest concern, that is the growing concern. It's a biggest issue that is, that needs to be addressed. Why? Because people don't know how to control their mind anymore. The moment something happens, they become emotional, they become upset, their mind becomes turbulent, and they are unable to control their mind. And when they cannot control their mind, they are not able to work, in the highest efficient manner. They are not efficient at all. They are not highly productive at all. So what happens? Their work suffers. The quality of work suffers quite a lot. And also, which means then you are not happy with your job yourself, your boss, your superiors are not happy, your bosses are happy, and then what is the output are you going to produce? And then if you are a leader, you can't be in that state of mind, right? So today we are teaching, my Guruji is teaching this beautiful lessons to people. How do they channel all that good qualities that they have for their own betterment, to become the best version of yourself? That is what we are teaching. Spirituality doesn't mean that you give up your material world. It doesn't mean that. What it simply means is that you use this knowledge and live a righteous life. You apply in your day-to-day life and follow the path of, follow the righteous path, so that you will be able to, at the end of it, achieve the divine Lord. That is what it is, either through knowledge, through karma, or through bhakti, whatever the path that you choose. See, Lord is telling very clearly to Arjuna that nobody can escape duty in this world. Everybody has to perform the prescribed duties associated with this body. We can't say that I am not going to work. Nobody has a choice with that regard. We all have to do our swadharma, born of our nature, which is born of our this existence. It is already defined, predefined. So there is no escapism for it, and spirituality is definitely not an escapism, and that is why he's teaching Arjuna what is real spirituality mean, what it means to be spiritual. That is what he's also teaching. So he's saying, however men seek me, even so do I respond to them. For all men follow my path in every way. Please remember, for everybody is following the Lord's path in every way, just that they don't realize. They are covered with the delusion called Maya, because they believe that I am the doer. It's because of me that this world is existing. I have to fulfill my desires. I want to, I have my ambition. There are a lot of things that they are bound by. And one of the most important thing that they get bound is by their desires, insatiable desire, and the Lord is teaching Arjuna that it is the eternal enemy of the wise. You can't have these desires. And not just that, the eternal enemy of the wise is also the attachment and repulsion, which we get, I want this, I don't want this, I like this, I don't like this. We go on living those kind of things, and all that stems from the desire, the sense object. The reason behind us getting carried away, being in that bondage, is because of our desires for the sense objects. So that is what we have to overcome. So let us continue. Verse 12. In this world of human beings, men seeking the fruition of their activities worship the gods, for success born of actions follows quickly. Again, this is very, very powerful. In this world of human beings, men seeking the fruition of their activities worship the gods. This gods is small gods. What does it mean? He's saying in our material world, all the human beings are after one very important thing, that if I do something, I should get success. The end result, they're all attached to the fruit of the action. That is, they're attached to the end result. Men seeking fruition of their activities, whatever action that you do, they're always expecting that success. We all want to succeed. Nobody wants to fail. So everybody is expecting the fruition of that activities. That is the fruit, whatever the end result is. So worship the gods. So what do? They go and worship the gods. They say, please, let me get good marks in my 10th standard exam, because, I have to get a first class. I have to get 90%, because I have to apply for IIT, or 95% or 99%, whatever that percentage that you want. So all of us are, looking at that fruition of that activity. If I'm writing exam, means I need to come out with flying colors. I have to pass with flying colors. What does it mean? Because there is an ultimate goal at the end of the day. That goal, the agenda is that I have to get into a good college, or I've given an interview. I wish I get selected. I have to get selected. God, please, my first salary I will offer to you. So this is what they go and worship the gods for. Everybody. Let me tell you my own story. Much way back in time, even before meeting my Guruji, before getting on the path of spirituality, I used to also go to gods, the small god, the deities. They are not There's not Lord Shri Krishna. They're all the, department heads. We go to them like Ganesha, Lord Lakshmi, Saraswati, you name it, Vishnu. We go to all these deities and then we worship. We say, oh God, please, let me somehow get this job. And my first salary I'll offer this to you, I'll offer that to you. And or people go to Sai Baba temple and they say, Baba, on this Thursday of this month, I will offer there's a garb, the shawl, or the vastra. Vastra is the garment for Baba. They pray like this. We say Mannat. Mannat means make a wish. I make a wish, and then with the wish, Baba gives me this success, I will come and offer him this. So this is what we go worship. Why do we worship the gods? Because for the fruition of our activities, we want that fruition to happen. What is the fruition? The fruit. The fruit is, I have to get the job. I have to get so much salary. I must go abroad. My visa has to get sanctioned. You name it. The demands are endless. So what is he saying? So in the world of human beings, whoever is seeking the fruition of their activities, worship the gods. That is the small gods. Small g, not the capital G. Small gods, that is the deities they worship. For success born of actions follows quickly, because for them success born of actions follows quickly. So they want to become successful. They want quick success. Why? Because every action, they need that success. For success born of actions follows quickly. That is what they're interested. They are motivated. Why do they want to worship? Have you ever gone to God and said, God, I love you. I just want to experience you, or I'm thankful for everything that you have offered me. I just came to say hello to you. Have you ever said that in your life? Not a single soul would do that. Because people go to temple only with an agenda that I want something. They are not going there because they just want to meet God. Nobody is going to temple to meet God. They're going, it's like a ritual. An example, when I used to live in Singapore, it was my observation. Every Saturday, some of these believers of Vishnu, they will end up going to the Lord Venkateshwara, that is Balaji's temple. And that was a ritual for them. They want to just find some solace. They want to do some offerings. Or they just say, okay, it's like for me a weekend getaway sort of. Because abroad, you don't have much to do. If you're not trying, having friends, going parties and all. So the Indian family, most of them, like some of the people who religiously believe in God, they think they are religious people. They will go to these temples, and then what is it they're asking for? They just ensure, okay, take care of me, ensure that I'm good health, ensure that I clear, my project will be successful, something or the other. That's the requirement why they're going. There's always a vested interest, and the interest is the fruition of their activities. And most important for them is what? To be successful. Because success follows action. Success born of actions follows quickly. Success born of actions follows quickly. So what do their deities do? They bless you. They continue to bless you, and then what happens? You become adin to them. And nothing comes free. Please remember, there is no free lunch even in God's heaven. So you're bound to them. You become bound. That is why my Guruji will say, we should not go and ask anything. See, at the end of the day, one very important lesson which all of you should know and understand is that whatever is due to you, you will anyways get it. No matter what that is. At the end of the day, we all are born with a predefined karma. In the sense, our destiny is already predefined. Everything is, laid, the path is beautifully laid. From the day we are born to the day we have to die, how we have to die, everything is already predetermined. So what is it you're trying to go and ask or seek? You just have to do your duties, just surrendering everything to the Divine Lord, and then He will bestow you whatever that you have to rightfully get. You will anyways get. What is the point in simply going and asking? There is no use. This is the truth which a human being doesn't understand. And that is why He's saying here, in this world of human beings, men seeking the fruition of their activities worship the gods. For success born of actions follows quickly. So everybody wants to be successful. They are only running after success, that is money, richness. See, success can be anything. It depends individual to individual. Success to according to somebody can be, X amount of money. Success equals to name, fame, recognition to somebody else. So each one's definition of success will vary. So whatever that you're seeking is what you are trying to, you're going to gods, you're going to the temple, you're going to the deities and asking them because you want success. That is what you're looking for. So let us continue. The four orders of society, which the Brahmana, the Kshatriya, the Vaishyas and the Shudra were created by me. This is again very, very interesting lesson. Now this will determine how each one who are born from a different one of the orders. Example, this body is born from a Kshatriya class, right? So if I am a Kshatriya, then my duty is to fight. I am a born warrior. So that as per my Kshatriya dharma, the duties are already defined for me, and that's the duties I have to do. Now he's telling here, this is not created by the society, it is created by me. That's what he's teaching here. He's saying to Arjuna, the four orders of society, with the Brahmanas, the Kshatriya, the Vaishyas and the Shudra were created by me, classifying them according to the gunas predominant in each. Classifying them according to the gunas predominant in each. What does it mean? Predominant. So in Brahmanas, it is supposed to be, they are supposed to be sattva. They are filled with sattva. So it's a sattva guna. In Kshatriya, it is all about actions. So your rajas filled with the rajasic guna, which is all about action. And the four classes, which is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, were created by me, classifying them according to the gunas predominant in the sense. So in the Brahmanas, the predominant guna will be sattva. In Kshatriya, there will be a mix of rajas and sattva. In Vaishya, it will be rajas and tamas, and in Shudra, it will be 100% tamas. So that is how the gunas, the predominant of gunas exist. Now this is what he's saying, how he has created this, how it has been classified, and how everybody are given duties according to the orders that they are born of. So he's telling, classifying them according to the gunas predominant in each and up-proportioning corresponding duties to them. Though the originator of this creation know me, the immortal Lord, to be a non-doer. Wow, this is actually very, very profound. What is the Lord saying? The Lord is saying, please remember, I am the one who has created the four orders of the society. That is Brahmana, the Kshatriya, the Vaishya and the Shudra were created by me. Classifying them according to the gunas predominant in each. Classifying them according to the gunas, that is sattva, rajas and tamas, predominant, one which is quite high, that is the quality of sattva is high in each of these orders, in each, and up proportioning corresponding duties to them. What does that mean? See, please remember, everybody has been given that certain duties born of that order. If you are a Kshatriya, you are a warrior, you have to fight, you have to rule. That is what you are known for. You are the king. You should rule. That is your swadharma. And who has defined this? This has been defined by the Lord himself. But he's saying something very beautiful here. Though defining, so the prescribed duties are being approportioning the corresponding duties to them. Whatever the duties that needs to be performed by the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas and the Shudras has been defined by the Lord. Though the originator of this creation, despite being the originator of the creation, that is me, know to be me, the immortal Lord, one who is immortal, to be a non-doer. Despite all this has manifested from him, he is the one who has also defined the prescribed duties, yet he is not doer. Though he is immortal, he is eternal being. There is no birth or death for this divine Lord. Yet he is telling that he is, to be a non-doer. What does it mean? The Lord doesn't do. He doesn't lift his finger to perform anything. His nature, his prakriti does everything for him. He just, everything is emanated. So prakriti is the creation of the divine Lord himself. She is born from him, and then she creates this entire universe. So the gunas, everything is, she is the one who has defined. But the substratum of all the knowledge is the divine Lord alone. So please remember, the Lord doesn't do anything. So when we attribute to the Lord, you're the doer, you're the one who's doing it. See, it is to avert your ego. Because you should never think that I am the doer. So we attribute to the Lord as the doer. But here he's very clearly saying, know me, the immortal Lord, to be a non-doer. The Lord is not the doer. He doesn't do, but his nature, Mother Nature does it for him. Prakriti, what did he say in one of the verses? He says, Prakriti, I keep Prakriti, my nature, Prakriti under control, my control. That means what? She listens to the divine Lord and she just does it for him. Everybody works for the divine Lord alone. They serve him. They serve his purpose. They serve his existence. Please remember, existence in the sense when he is manifested. When he manifests, everybody is there, looking, serving. They're just waiting to serve him. Even otherwise, the entire universe, is around him, working in a clockwork precision manner. They work in a very systematic manner and do their job so beautifully well. And it's very nicely explained. And in fact, in Srimad Bhagavatam, in one of the verse, Lord Shri Krishna says that, the sun rises, the wind blows, everything, the water, the water is there, the rain is coming, everything is performing because out of the fear of the Lord. They're all doing their duties in such a clockwork precision manner. Imagine one day sun telling, okay, today I don't want to rise, I'm just tired, I want to take a break. Can that ever happen? No. So why do we human beings think like that? Oh, today I'm not in a mood, I don't want to work, I don't want to do this. Constantly we say that I don't like, I don't want. That is what Arjuna is also doing here. I don't want to fight the war, I don't want to fight the battle. He's telling all of this, and that is the reason why this Bhagavad Gita itself has come into existence, where the Lord has imparted this beautiful knowledge about what is it all about, who is this divine Lord, who is this Arjuna, why should we work in this world, what is our purpose of existence. All that is being so beautifully explained. And how do we attain God realization? Please remember one very important lesson. Only through a human birth can you attain God realization. Whether it is the gods or the demons, or they all have to take a human form. And through human form alone can you attain God realization. And to have this human birth is a boon. But a man wastes his life. That is exactly why the Lord has to manifest to teach him, to put the dharma back on path. And then to show the people the way of life. How do they live? How do they, do things so that finally by being a, good human being, they will be able to achieve their spiritual will. And for those who really want to evolve on the path of spirituality, there are certain ways which the Lord has defined. And once we follow that, we will also be able to achieve the highest will that we are aspiring for. So here, please remember, the immortal Lord is a non-doer. He doesn't do anything, and yet we'll attribute everything to him. And that's one, we get very confused because we think, oh, everything is like when he said, the four orders of the society, which the Brahmana, Kshatriya, and the Vaishyas and the Shudras were created by me. Oh yeah, the Lord is the one who created. What does that mean? Created by me means what? Everything is emanated from him. Created means he's not physically creating it. The creation has emanated from him. But who's the one who creates? The Mother Nature. His Prakriti is the one who creates. But who is it born from? From him alone. He's the substratum of this entire existence, this universe and everything else. To exist, he forms a substrat. He's a substratum of everything. And he forms the base of everything in this universe. But he's not doer, he's immortal being. He doesn't do anything. That is the truth we fail to understand. So let us continue verse 14. Since I have no craving for the fruit of actions, actions do not taint me. Even he who thus knows me in reality is not bound by actions. Wow, that's very powerful. What is the Lord saying here? Since I have no craving for the fruit of actions. The Lord has no craving for fruit of actions. Means what? He's not expecting, some success to come about or failure to happen. Nothing. He's not expecting, oh, I should get $1 million. He's not expecting that people have to recognize me, people have to praise me, people have to know me. He doesn't have any expectations out of any action that he's performing. If he's doing some action, if he's teaching, he's not expecting that his student in return should acknowledge him. His students should, give him any offerings. No, there's no expectation at all. So he's saying, since I have no craving for the fruit of actions, if somebody gives, somebody doesn't give, it doesn't even matter. My Guruji to date has never taken anything from anybody. If a disciple chooses on his or own will to offer anything to the Divine Master, he will accept it graciously. But you know what? He'll just touch and give it away. He'll say, you do the needful. My Guruji doesn't keep anything with him. He doesn't even want. But yeah, when someone gives it with absolute love, he accepts just because of their love. But he's not bothered about the fruit of actions. He's not craving. There is no craving. See, we think, okay, today it's Diwali. My mom should give me a nice sari, or my dad should give me some nice gift. That's an expectation. We're craving for the fruit of actions. If you perform, again, I'm saying action in the sense, if you perform an action, say, I go to work, so we do a good job. So then we are expecting, oh, today I should get, my manager should nominate me for a reward because I've done such a fantastic job. That's the fruit of action. You're craving for a fruit of action. Whatever the fruit that you're craving, then that becomes, you're motivated by that. You're bothered about the end result. You have an expectation that I should get this or I should get that. But here for the Lord, there is no craving for the fruit of the actions. Actions do not taint me. Again, this is a very powerful thing. Actions do not taint me. One of the very beautiful lessons that he is teaching here is amazing. My Krishna Guruji will perform any action on this planet Earth. There is not a single task that he can't do. You ask him right from cooking to cleaning to grocery shopping to anything, carpentry, you name any kind of task. He is highly capable of doing everything. He will even drive you around. He'll do everything for you. And for him, actions don't taint him. So anything that he does he's not thinking that's a low job or a high job or it is not my job. He doesn't think anything like that. For him, it is a duty, it's a job, he has to do it, an action he performs. But what doesn't happen to him? It doesn't taint him. People get tainted. We say, no, the mind taints you. Says there was a very interesting incident. Many years ago, I was put on a project. And in that project, you had to, do certain things which I was not aware of. And when it was brought to my notice and I was told, oh, no, you need to do these things, I felt it is below my dignity to do something like that, because that was not what I was prepared for. But that is expected to be done. That's a norm of the world. That's a protocol. And especially when you're a very junior, a junior person in the industry or in your job, they expect you even to carry their coffee mugs and do a lot of things. You become like a doormat. But we go with a attitude, our nose high up in the air. Oh no, I can't do this kind of task. That's not my job. Go tell a security or there's an office boy who will do that. So we come with that kind of attitude. But much later in life, you'll understand that no, first if you have to learn, you have to become humble. And becoming humble means you have to do all kinds of job. And there's no dignity of labor. In the sense, dignity of labor means you should be able to do any task without feeling it's a small or big job. Every job is just an action. It's a job that needs to get performed. But we always have this nose high up in the air. We think no end of ourselves. Oh, I can't do that mundane job. It's beyond my level. All this kind of attitude we have. So here the Lord is saying, actions do not taint me. What does that mean? He can do any action. It doesn't taint him at all. It doesn't matter. For him, he sets an example. In the earlier verse, in some of the earlier chapter, we also learned that how the divine Lord says, or rather early in this chapter only, he's saying that, look, there's nothing for me to achieve, and I'm not here to attain anything. There's nothing unattained by me. In the sense, he has attained everything. He's the highest. He's everything. He doesn't have to perform, yet he works like an ordinary human being. Why does he do that? So that he sets an example. He sets a standard, because he says very clearly, men in every way follow my path. They follow me. So in every way, that's exactly what he said here, right? For all men follow my path in every way. So he's not going to disturb their minds. So he's going to show how to do all tasks, all actions, not thinking that that's a mundane job, that's below my dignity, or this is the job that I will do. No. Doing our job is very important. In Krishna Ashram, my Guruji will do everything. He doesn't think that something is below his level. Oh, he's a guru and he just sits there and gives command. No, not at all. On the contrary, he works with us. He shows us how to do. To match him, you have to become highly competent. It's not so easy to match my Guruji. He's so efficient. He's so productive. He's always on that high, the high energized, absolutely like I want to go get it sort of. How does that happen? Because he's not thinking about the fruits of action. He's not bothered about whether something is small or big job. Everything is an action which needs to be performed. There is a duty, you have to do it. There's a job, it needs to get done. There's nothing small or big. Everything is a task alone. But we think it's a big deal. Oh God, I have to do this, I have to clean the house, I have to do so much. We think like that. We make it into, that's like a nightmare for us. Why? Because we have never trained ourselves to work like that. That is what the Lord is saying. So actions don't taint him. He can do anything on this planet Earth. So you have to become capable like that. Even he who thus knows me in reality is not bound by actions. So what is he saying? So those who are privileged of knowing the divine Lord in reality is not bound by actions. That means no karma accrues to you. So when you're under the Chatra Chaya, we say, in the sense, you're under the firewall, the grace of the divine Lord. When you know him, he's with you, then so in the reality, in the sense, in real time, when he has manifested on this planet Earth, when you know him in reality, then even that individual is not bound by actions anymore. And that's the most beautiful aspect of it. And you know how liberating that is? It is very liberating, because you're not bound by any actions, because you know that you know him, you know the divine Lord, you see him, you live with him, you're learning from him. And when all this is there, then what action are you bound by? You're not bound by anything. You're eternally free. You're free actually. I don't know about eternally, I shouldn't say that. But at least you're free from that moment go. Even he who thus knows me in reality is not bound by actions. So we'll do one more verse and then we'll end here. Having known thus, action was performed even by the ancient seekers for liberation. Therefore, do you also perform actions as have been performed by the ancients from antiquity. Wow, that's powerful. So what is he saying? He's saying, having known thus. So knowing this truth, understanding this knowledge, knowing this truth, action was performed even by the ancient seekers for liberation. Those who are seeking, those who are on the path, of wanting to attain moksha, the seekers for the truth, the seekers of knowledge, those seekers in the past, ancient means time immemorial, people were also doing the same thing. Action was performed even by the ancient seekers of liberation, for liberation. Therefore, you also, Arjuna, should perform the action as have been performed by the ancients from antiquity. So what is the Lord saying? See, look, everybody has followed the same path. You're no exception. Why are you now telling me you don't want to fight the war? You also do perform your action. That is what the Lord is saying. Everybody has done this. Everybody has to go through this. There are no exceptions. This is how I have defined the way of life. You can't go against those norms. You can't go out of that framework. You have to operate within that framework alone. And the framework demands that you have to perform your action. When even in the past, in ancient, action was performed even by the ancient seekers for liberation. So those who were on the path of wanting to achieve moksha, they also did their job. They also performed actions. So therefore, do you also perform actions as have been performed by the ancients from antiquity? Antiquity means what? Time immemorial, ancient. It's not now. It's even before you were born. I have created this universe in a certain way. The framework was defined by me. That is the way of life, which is what I'm imparting to you. So you're no exception to the rule. You can't say you're not going to do the job. You have to do the job. How much ever you feel you cannot do, you will still have to do the task that which is, assigned to you. Rightfully your duty. You will have to do that Kshatriya dharma. You are a born warrior. You are from the Kshatriya order. So you cannot say that I cannot do the work. I cannot fight the war. You can't say that I don't want to fight the war. You don't have a choice, Arjuna. That is exactly what he's saying. You better perform. You better fight your battle. You can't sit and say, now I don't want to fight. I want to give up all this. You can't say that to me. That is exactly what the Lord is explaining to Arjuna. I hope you've understood the one lesson which he's continuing to tell Arjuna is, look, lift your bow and arrow and shoot. Why are you just saying, I don't want, I can't do this? There is no choice. There are no two ways about it. You will have to fight. And you have to fight, born of your order. And even the ancient seekers for liberation have done their duty. So why do you think you are an exception to the rule? So you also perform. That's exactly what the Lord is teaching Arjuna. So with that, we'll end here. That is, we have stopped at verse 15. In the next satsang, we'll continue from verse 16 onwards. Thank you for joining the Bhagavad Gita satsang, the way of life as described by Lord Shri Krishna to Arjuna. Om Shri Mahaganapate Namaha. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Digambara Digambara Shripad Vallabha Digambara. Om Shri Krishna Guru Nathanataya Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Devi Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Arpanam Namastu. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.